Michigan allegation update. Worse than the Patriots and the Astros, according to a Big Ten source inside the ESPN article late last night? Holy smokes. I don't know about that. We'll see. Welcome to episode 316 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's get right to it. ESPN, Adam Rittenberg. We provide a link in the description. You can read the whole article. Put down your comments and thoughts. Let me know what you think about the Michigan allegations. Is it a nothing burger? Is it a nothing burger even if there's evidence to show that Michigan did do, for example, in-person scouting of their opponents further into their own football schedule? Let me know what you're thinking here. A low-level staffer with a military background has emerged as one of the linchpins in the NCAA investigation into Michigan's alleged sign-stealing operation, sources told ESPN on Thursday. Carlos Stalions, a football analyst with the Wolverines and a retired captain in the United States Marine Corps, is a person of interest in the investigation into whether number 2 ranked Michigan violated an NCAA rule by scouting future opponents in person at games. Sources said the NCAA prohibited such scouting in 1994. Sources said the NCAA enforcement staff's level of interest in Stalions is so significant it sought access to his computer as part of its investigation. Holy smokes. Sources indicated that the process is underway, although it's uncertain what investigators will find. We do not know for sure if the NCAA was able to get into his computer. We don't know by how this is written that he actually got access into the investigation, actually got access into Stalin's computer. But sources, and you see it in this article, you saw it in the Athletic article yesterday. According to sources, people are taking this very seriously. This potential nothing burger could be a big burger. Attempts by ESPN to reach Stalions were not returned. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel did not return a request seeking comment. A source told ESPN that the Wolverines have used an elaborate scouting system to steal signals from future opponents since at least 2021. At least 2021. Now, stealing signs in itself is not illegal. However, there's a definite written rule in place since 1994. You can't do in-person. You can't go to the team's games and have people represent your team and analyze and scout and film with technology, with video of the other team's hand signals, and then analyze it and then know the other team's hand signals when you play them in the future, in your schedule in the future. Back to the article. With the ongoing NCAA investigation into Michigan's recruiting and Coach Jim Harbaugh potentially facing additional penalties there, this separate investigation could significantly increase his exposure to additional suspension. In a statement Thursday, Harbaugh denied any knowledge of or involvement in the alleged scheme to steal opponents' signals through scouting trips to out-of-town games. Harbaugh said he would fully cooperate in any investigations and doesn't condone or tolerate anyone doing anything illegal or against NCAA rules. This is Jim Harbaugh, I do not have any knowledge or information regarding the University of Michigan football program illegally stealing signals, nor have I directed any staff members or others to participate in an off-campus scouting assignment, Harbaugh said in the statement. If the allegations are proven true, Michigan would have violated an NCAA bylaw 11.6.1, which states off-campus, in-person scouting of future opponents in the same season is prohibited. Michigan and the Big Ten were notified by the NCAA of the investigation Wednesday, and the conference said it had notified the Wolverines' future opponents, including Michigan State, which hosts Michigan and East Lansing on Saturday. The Big Ten Conference considers the integrity of the competition to be of the utmost importance and will continue to monitor the investigation, the conference said in a statement. Even though Harbaugh said he had no knowledge of the alleged scheme pursuant to NCAA bylaw 11.1.2.1, a head coach is presumed to have knowledge of what is occurring in his program and therefore can be responsible for the actions of a staff and individuals associated with the program. In other words, when it comes to possible punishment for this violation, the head coach, knowing or not knowing, it doesn't seem to matter. You're supposed to know if you're the head coach of a football program if illegal stuff is going on under your leadership. Earlier this year, the NCAA removed the rebuttal presumption from head coach responsibility, making whether the head coach promoted a compliance and or monitored the program relevant to penalty determinations only. So if you it doesn't determine if you knew about it or not when it comes to the guilty part of it, guilty or innocent. It might affect what type of punishment you have if you didn't know what was going on. I have no awareness of anyone on our staff having done that or having directed that action, Harbaugh said in a statement. No matter what program or organization that I've had led throughout my career, my instructions and awareness of how we scout opponents have always been firmly within the rules. So it's interesting. This comment by Jim Harbaugh and others that we've read so far, Jim Harbaugh is saying, look, there are rules. I don't know that we broke them. I have no knowledge we broke them. I didn't direct anybody that we broke the rules. But he is saying here, he acknowledges that there are rules in place and we have always been firmly within the rules. Around Michigan's football building, Stalions is known to technically work in the recruiting department under Director of Recruiting Albert Karshina. But a source said it was known in the building that he spent much of his time deciphering opponents' signals, often watching television copies of opponents' games. On Stalions' Instagram page, there are photos of him on the sideline next to two of Michigan's former defensive play callers, Don Brown and Mike McDonald. He had one role, said a source with knowledge of Michigan staff. He had one role, said a source with knowledge of Michigan staff. Somebody, a former staff member, potentially is one of the sources of ESPN and others, and possibly the NCAA investigation. I don't know. We're going to find out. What is crucial to the NCAA case isn't what Stalions did while breaking down television copies of games to learn and decode opponent signals. Television copies, that's not what's at stake here. It's whether or not illicit methods were used, which are alleged to include opponent scouting in different venues. This is the in-person scouting, and was outlawed by the NCAA nearly 3 decades ago as a cost-cutting measure to bring more equity to the sport. Sign stealing also violates the NCAA rules if a team uses electronic equipment to decipher signals and relay the information to players and coaches. According to the 2023 NCAA football rulebook, any attempt to record, either through audio or video means, any signals given by opposing player, coach, or other team personnel is prohibited. The allegations against Michigan appear to transcend the normal coach griping about opposing coaches stealing signals, as the depth of the allegations and the Big Ten's on-record affirmation of an investigation hint at something much more significant. The allegations have rattled coaches and administrators around the Big Ten. And here is the PATC money shot of this article at ESPN by Adam Rittenberg. This is worse than both the Astros and the Patriots. It's both use of technology for competitive advantage, and there's allegations that they are filming prior games, not just in-game, a Big Ten source said. I'm going to read it again. This is worse than the Astros and the Patriots. It's both use of a technology for competitive advantage, and there's allegations that they are filming prior games, not just in-game, a Big Ten source said. If it was just in an in-game situation, that's different. Going and filming somewhere where you're not supposed to be, it's illegal. It's too much of an advantage. It's too much of an advantage if you're doing it and nobody else is doing it. Stallions, a graduate of the United States Naval Academy, was hired as an off-field analyst at Michigan in May 2022. According to a bio on his LinkedIn account, in the bio, Stallions wrote that he attempts to employ Marine Corps philosophies and tactics into the sport of football regarding strategies and staffing, recruiting, scouting, intelligence, planning, and more. Among the skills Stallions wrote about were identifying the opponent's most likely course of action and most dangerous course of action, and identifying and exploiting critical vulnerabilities and centers of gravity in the opponent scouting process. All that sounds good to me, as long as you're not breaking the rules. And again, we don't know if he was or not. The son of a two Michigan alumni, Stallions enrolled at the Naval Academy and was a student assistant for the midshipmen from 2013 to 2016. After being commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps in 2017, Stallions worked as a graduate assistant at Navy before beginning his military training, according to a LinkedIn account. While he was stationed at Camp Pendleton in California, Stallions wrote he served as a volunteer assistant at Michigan from May 2015 to May 2022. Quote, on top of my daily duties as logistics officer leading 40 plus at a time, I volunteered for the Michigan football staff, flying back and forth on my own dime, assisting the defensive staff, Stallions wrote. In a profile of Stallions on the website Soldiers to Sidelines in January 2022, he said he purchased a house, rented each of the bedrooms on Arab Nub while sleeping on the couch to help pay for his travel to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Stallions retired as a captain in the Marine Corps in May 2022 and joined Michigan staff as an on-field analyst. Harbaugh already faces NCAA charges of failure to cooperate and head coach responsibility related to alleged recruiting violations during the COVID-19 dead period. A violation by a member of his coaching staff could trigger another charge of head coach responsibility, which could be a level 1 violation. So Stallions was hired, joined the Michigan staff as an off-field analyst. So he is an employee of the University of Michigan Athletic Department football program. And finally, in the ESPN article, Adam Rittenberg, the NCAA Committee on Infractions rejected a 4-game negotiated suspension of Harbaugh in the recruiting case, and Michigan self-imposed a 3-game suspension. With that case still needing to be resolved, an additional head coach responsibility charge based on alleged signal stealing would significantly increase his exposure to additional punishment, including a longer suspension. Michigan still is facing 2 violations, which are considered less serious from those alleged violations. The NCAA is not expected to announce a ruling in that case until 2024. And that's one of my main questions throughout many questions. How long is this going to drag out? How much information do they already have? Did they get access to Stallion's computer? Is this a nothing burger? Did Michigan do nothing wrong? Are they just scouting better than everybody? It could possibly be so. Maybe this gentleman here is just dissecting, giving great information to his coaching staff. He's an analyst. That's what they do. Analysts analyze. Maybe he's just really good at it. We know that Michigan has a great football program. They're going to The teams they have squashed so far this season, they're going to squash them no matter what. But if Michigan is truly doing in-person scouting at other venues with their future opponents, and the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions are not doing that, that is a huge advantage. It is a nothing burger. It is not a nothing burger if this is truly going on at the University of Michigan. Put down your comments and thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Did Jim Harbaugh, is this truly going on? And if it is truly going on, could Jim Harbaugh possibly not know that it was going on? And if you believe, look, Michigan is innocent of these charges, they just got a great coaching staff, put down those comments as well. We're going to continue to monitor and report on this growing story. Michigan allegations worse than the Patriots and the Astros and what they did. I don't know about that. You're going to have to bring the goods if you want me to believe about that. But if this is true, PATC doesn't believe it's a nothing burger. Too much of an advantage. Too much of an advantage if this is truly going on. And the punishment, if it is true, lose a scholarship player, lose a couple scholarships on your football program. I can't see the punishment being even more severe than that. But let me know if I got that wrong as well. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.